Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. My name is Johnny Bottles. To my left is Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist from Twitter. We are the fastest moving hour and whatever minutes in the pro wrestling in the IWC on YouTube. That's how we roll here. We don't have a set time limit. Just like Raw on Netflix, Don, we don't have a set time limit when to go off. If you like our content on our channel, please give us a like, give us a subscribe, give us a little notification bell down below. Hit that for us. And we've got a lot of content. We've got some interviews. We got some good stuff on the channel. A lot of hatred, a lot of laughter. Check us out. That's all I can say. Don, it's been a tumultuous week in pro wrestling news regarding AEW, regarding WWE, mostly AEW though. What goes on behind the scenes? What do you want to start off with, Don?
First, I'd like to say my screen is blurry as shit. I don't know what just happened. It was working fine, and now it's gone to shit. What is going on? This whole thing is a goddamn disaster. It's blurry. I don't know what's going on. But I want to say hello at my blurry-ass screen and this bullshit that I'm dealing with right now. It was working fine a minute ago, Twitter peeps. Working fine a minute ago. I don't even know what to say anymore. I do not like this Moxley man. I do not like his Cracker Clan. I do not like him on my screen. I don't think he's tough or me. That's what I took away from last night's show.
They're still beating this Death Riders angle to death. They're beating it to death, Don.
To death.
Absolutely horrific. Other than that, what'd you think of the show, Don? AEW Dynamite. What'd you think?
We're going to get there, pal.
You're talking about it now. What is going on?
I have got problems, Bottles. I've got problems. You people have no idea what happened over here at Don Wayne Manor. I told Bottles before we started the show, my camera was missing. My home was in chaos. I couldn't get my damn computer to restart. Everything is a shit show, just like this god-awful wrestling show that I watched last night that had moments of brilliance and moments that I liked, and nevertheless, they ended the same way, like a fart in church, with the old lady in the corner looking at you in disgust, like you're a filthy pervert.
Sounds like you've got problems at stately Wayne Manor.
We're getting there. My camera's fixed, piece of shit. I do want to give a shout out to the people in New Orleans. Block Larry.
Larry
made it through the blizzard. He said he has found something, and he has told me this throughout the week. He's found
religion.
That he hates snow. He has found something he hates more than women's wrestling: snow. He hates the snow. So we're here, pal. We're live. Jesus. Oh, shit. Challenger John coming off the rip. Thank you, Challenger John.
I attended both the Clarksville and Knoxville shows of AEW Dynamite. If you want some details, now that there's no Rampage on TV, everyone just goes home. They had a couple dark matches with jobbers. What if they've got jobbers there? Why don't the jobbers do the jobs for the stars on TV instead of having people in the locker room?
Right. Why are you doing the jobs on the dark match, man? Like, you put on an actual show to put on. You put on either people that are new to the business or trying to break in, or you put somebody out there that's going to get the crowd fired up. You know what I mean? I know I've gone to a bunch of WWE house shows, and they would always have two guys that you've never heard of. They're competing for a spot. They're trying to get on the card, and then they'd roll out like a Steve Austin or something to get the crowd fired up, and then he'd go back there, and that was it. And then you'd be like, oh, shit, this is going to be a good show.
I'm going to give you a name of a jobber. He made chicken salad out of chicken shit on WWE TV, and he became a fixture. A jobber became a fixture on WWE television. That man's name was James Ellsworth. Remember that guy?
Yeah, I do.
The chinless wonder. Yeah. He said any man that's got two hands has a chance. When he was going to go up against, who was he going up against? Kane or Braun Strowman or somebody, some huge man. Him and another guy were going up against him. And they put the microphone in front of Ellsworth, and he ran with it, man. He was fantastic.
Here we go. Challenger John, I'm going to keep throwing you up there, buddy. He said it was Serpentico and Crazy Steve last night before the show.
Crazy Steve is from TNA. Just throwing that out there to you. He came from TNA.
Well,
Serpentico came from his mother.
I will say this much, John. We're going to come to you. You gave $10. That's a big bonus, man. We appreciate that.
Absolutely.
We will be coming back to you multiple times. Denisha, hey, Donna Bottles, your favorite girl is here. Hey, Denisha.
There she is.
Thank you for joining today. Thank you for the super chat. We appreciate you as always.
Absolutely.
Appreciate all of you for joining us tonight on this crazy ass start to the show in which I can't get my shit together. It be like it is.
You put that back up again?
Yeah.
Why?
Bruh, I'll explain it to you later. Okay? Say okay. Just say okay.
Whatever. The big yellow block right up there. Okay.
That's fine. He had a lot to say, and he's going to have a lot more to say. That's all I'm saying. I do want to thank you all for joining. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. We've got a little bit of news to cover that we want to get through first. But the big news this week is sort of where this show went from last night from talking to you, is the IWC on Twitter came completely unglued, and it looks like it almost, you know what it reminds me of? When the NWO turned on each other. And now you've got all the incels infighting. The AEW neckbeards can't control their rage against each other anymore. And they're all coming unglued. In one corner, you've got the guys that will never admit that there's a problem with the product. And in the other corner, you've got guys that are like, you're a piece of shit. You should acknowledge it.
Absolutely. We did a video about that last week. The attack of the neckbeards.
I just go to shows because tickets are cheap. I don't blame you, John. I don't blame you.
John, just out of curiosity, how cheap are those tickets? And when did you buy the tickets?
The real question is, I think you and I, let's go ahead and get to the show. Let's get the show started. We've had enough ha-ha grab ass. There are some things going on in AEW you and I have been talking about for months now. That you and I have read the tea leaves. You've seen some stuff here. I've seen some stuff there. You've been more candid and open about what you believe is going on. You like the rumored innuendo a lot. We can say that much, I believe.
And there, dude, there's a lot of fire to that smoke that I was smelling.
There's a lot.
A lot of fire.
There's a lot. Motorhead's
back in. There he is. Thank you,
Welcome back, Motorhead. But the Britt Baker smoke. Where there's smoke, there's somebody between her legs, I guess is what you could say. Wearing that thing out like a trampoline cowboy.
You said that? I did not, sir. You said that? I did not. That thing is probably like a beat-up wallet you would find on the beach somewhere.
Easy.
Hey, wait, how's that any worse than what you just said?
Easy.
I didn't go that far.
We've been talking about it. There were rumors floating around left and right that somebody was having relations with her, with one Britt Baker. And it's been going on for a while. These rumors didn't start with us. We didn't start them.
No.
That's sort of what's been said for a long time. Then they broke up and the rumors got louder. Now you've got other wrestling pundits out there going, she's definitely screwing around. She hasn't been on TV since what, September, October, November, maybe November.
I'm thinking the first week of November. Maybe not November. Maybe Halloween.
It might have been Halloween.
Maybe at the end of October when she was confronted with Serena Deeb. Serena Deeb came out on the ramp and said she wanted a match with Baker, blah, blah, blah. And Baker looked at the corner cameraman's microphone and said, nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. Nobody cares. That's what she said.
And she's been gone since.
Well, she's got a bad taste in her mouth, Don. That's not a play on words. Here we go, Challenger John. Like a day or two before and 3 times less than WWE. Raw in Nashville is $200-$300 for the lower bowl. The floor seat I got was $168 for the Dynamite last. $168 for Dynamite? Good Lord Almighty.
Well, I'm glad. I hope you had a good time. We're going to ask you about some of the things you saw. But back to the Britt Baker story. It's gotten so loud and the chatter has gotten so crazy that she actually commented today on Twitter. She came out and said, "It never happened. I didn't do it. This is all a bunch of,
meaning
nonsense."
She didn't cheat. She didn't cheat on Adam Cole. Well, here's what I heard. Going back to Wembley when she had the match at All In, the big stinker with Mercedes Moné. Did you know that she was supposed to beat Mercedes Moné for that belt?
I did not hear that.
And they were going to have a feud. And Mercedes Moné, with her creative control, said, no, that's not going to happen.
I can believe it.
And Britt Baker went off like a firecracker. She went off like a Roman candle.
We heard that.
Backstage. She lost her freaking mind. So she had a bad attitude when she came to the ring. And she sandbagged. Go ahead.
I don't even want to talk about her allegedly cheating anymore, because the real issue that you and I have been talking about for a while is her attitude backstage. But please continue.
She sandbagged Monet in the ring during that match, and that's why allegedly, wink wink, the match was so bad, because she made it bad on purpose. Then they took her off TV for a couple of weeks. Then she came back, I think, with that episode when MJF was wrestling Will Osprey for an hour
and a half,
and she did. And Osprey did a couple moves that Britt Baker supposedly, some of her moves she's supposed to do in her moveset. And the Sling Blade by Finn Balor, that was one of her moves. And Osprey did it. And she went off backstage. And she was in the locker room with Alicia Atout, MJF's fiance. And
we talked about this several months ago.
We talked about it.
It was everywhere. If I could for a minute, you mentioned this, right? But real quick, Warrior John says Mercedes Moné is what a Chia head looks like now. But I'll say this much: you were reading all of these different articles I wasn't seeing, and they were all busted loose left and right. So just you were like, Don, this is happening. Like they're trying to retract this faster than they can put it up. Like some shit went down, and now Tony has gotten into somebody's ear, and they're pulling this shit down left and right. And that's what they did. You were right.
They froze her out after all that. They suspended her. MJF punched the wall backstage and put a hole in the wall. He was so mad. She dropped the C word on Alicia Atout. Told her to shut your effing mouth, you little C. And she went back and told MJF. Well, she texted him. And when he got backstage, he grabbed his phone and saw what was going on. And he confronted Britt Baker about it. And Britt Baker told him to mind his own GD business and all this other stuff. And it was just a big row backstage, a big fight. And nothing got physical except for him punching the wall. And she was suspended for a week or two. Then when she came back, she had a match with... I
don't remember. It doesn't matter.
It might have been Queen Aminata. Queen Aminata was hot at the time, so she was jobbing out to everybody. Medulla Oblongata, yes.
There you go.
Queen Medulla Oblongata wrestled Britt Baker, and then Serena Deeb came out. Nobody cares. That whole thing went, and then she went into the back shelf of the toy bin, where she's never been seen again. Allegedly, she's got 16 months left on her contract.
That's what they said.
She asked for her release. He won't give it to her. He's just going to freeze her out. So she's probably, she's probably filling cavities and pulling molars down here in Orlando, where her dental practice is. So if she got out of her contract on, I think, now I don't like Britt Baker. I don't like her wrestling style. She's a good promo. She thinks she's better than what she is. She's horrible in the ring. But she can work a promo. If you give her the right opponent, she can work a feud.
I think, look, this is just me. I think if you give her the right opponent, she can actually have a good match. But she's got to be in there with a seasoned opponent. NXT would be a great start for her, to be honest. Because every time she gets in there, some woman breaks her nose every match. I swear to God. She's got like a huge blinking sign that says, nail my nose every time. She's had that thing busted open more times than I can count.
She worked with a seasoned opponent. They tried to put a feud up for her with Thunder Rosa when Thunder Rosa first got signed. And what happened there? She accused Thunder Rosa of sandbagging her and said she was terrible. Ashen Chevalier. Folks, put a mental bookmark right there. I got to read this. The Ashen Chevalier with a Canadian 5 spot. Guys, I just heard from Low Plains Drifter. He's tired of being Jericho's young boy. He wants out of AEW, but Tony denied him as well. I think Low Plains Drifter is not going anywhere. He's very, very happy in his lot in life, and this is the most amount of money he's ever made in professional wrestling. That's what I think.
He's making a good dime. He's making a good dime doing this right now.
The average pay for guys like Low Plains Drifter and that ilk, Daniel Garcia, guys like that in AEW, is, now wrap your head around this. This is from, I'm trying to remember what dirt sheet I got this from. It was either Fightful or Meltzer said that they're paid $200,000 to $250,000 a year.
Yeah, that's what I've read that too. I've read that as well.
You imagine
By the
Evil
way,
Uno from the Dark Order making $250,000 a year.
No words. I have no words for that one.
That's amazing.
But that's sort of what's going on with Britt Baker. She's been off TV now for several months. There's never an explanation to any of this. And there's a couple other people that I want to talk about real quick because it's
hang on a second. If you put Britt Baker
20 minutes on it.
If you put Britt Baker in NXT, would she be worth a shit for WWE? You think she would cooperate there?
If she doesn't, you can fire her ass. It's not hard there.
If they hired Britt Baker, that would be Paul Levesque's big FU to AEW and Tony Khan. I'm going to make a star out of Britt Baker. He would be determined to make a star out of Britt Baker.
I'm not even going to go that far, pal. I'm just not. Thank you again very much, Ashton Chevalier. I'm not even going to go that far. I'm just not. All
right, let's keep it moving.
See, that's what I try to do, and now you want to go down the other alley. I think there's something there. I think that she can be trained to work. I think she can cut a good promo. But again, we're going to talk about this next one. Again, Ricky Starks. He's just gone again. He's in this Khantanamo Bay, and he can't get out of this. And this is sort of where I want to go, is that we've read and heard, and several reports have been out there. He has asked for his release now multiple times. He is not being used in any way, shape, or form in this company, AEW that is. They have no interest in putting him on television.
No.
They have no interest in actually getting him to work. You said you read or you saw that they had pulled his merchandise from their websites. Like, that's not a thing anymore.
Wrong guy. Talking about Ray Fenix. They pulled all of Ray Fenix's merchandise recently as of last week.
Which is another guy.
Right, another guy. He's Pentacon's legit biological brother and tag team partner who, if you remember, he had a leg injury. He was the guy who bent his whole arm backwards.
Yes.
In a match with, I believe, Dante Martin and a couple other untrained guys. And folded that arm backwards, man, right on live TV. Really bad. She screamed bloody murder, and he had a lot of injury time, and they tacked it into his contract.
Right, and I get that. And look, I'm not gonna begrudge Tony for adding time to him for injury. I'm not. If they're under contract, let's make this real clear. I think you and I are on the same page. If you're under contract, you have to finish out your contract. Neither one of us are saying you should let him go, man. That's totally unfair. We're not neckbeards. We get how business works. Here's my issue. You've got 3 people right now that you could be utilizing their talents to put over other talent in your company. And the reason I say this is because Ricochet, a.k.a. Ping Pong, had a month left on his contract, and they wrote him off television in an angle. They didn't just say, you go away because you said you don't want to re-sign with us, and we're not going to give you TV time. They used Ricochet to put over Braun Breaker and make him a bigger star in an ambulance match. So it can be done. I will never understand why Tony Khan gets this butthurt issue and says, well, I'm not going to use him anymore. And here's the other part I keep hearing is that they don't like the creative decisions that he has, and that's why they're not on TV, because they don't like creative. You're the boss. What are we talking about here? It's not, I'd like for you to do this. It's do this or I'll sue you for breach of contract. This is the creative direction that we're going. And you don't have to just job them out. God knows you. Look. Ricky Stark has not been on TV since April of last year, I think is what I read. Something like
March.
Okay. But again, he's just sitting at home. How many angles could you have put him in at this point in time to get over all of these other stars that you are trying to build in this company? He could have been fodder for some of these guys that really needed it. Instead,
dude, look,
this nonsense.
Look at Wardlow. Look at Ricky Starks, like you said. Look at Ray Fenix. You could keep them on TV and just job them out, have them do business, and put people over. Make stars out of other people. Have Ricky Starks have a competitive match with Daniel Garcia, and he loses to Garcia. Following week, let him have a competitive match with Low Plains Drifter.
You could
for
just
that
name
matter.
anybody. There's all kinds
anybody who's an up and comer that, well, not Low Plains Drifter, but Big Bill.
He is, but here's the thing. Hold on before you say.
Well, you know what? They would have a feud. He wanted to split up. Big Bill was Ricky Stark's tag team partner,
right,
in March, and they wanted to. And they former tag team champions. They wanted to split those two up and have Ricky turn on Big Bill, and then beat Big Bill. And he said, How does that help Bill? Because he likes Bill. They were friends. How does that help Bill? Me turning on Bill and then me beating Bill, and Bill doesn't get the win back, the feud's over. How does that help Bill? So you got a guy like Ricky Starks trying to teach booking to Tony Khan, and Tony Khan took exception to that, and Ricky Starks' choice of friends when he's not wrestling. And you know what I'm talking about there.
Yeah.
Cody Rhodes and CM Punk, those guys.
So again,
it does hurt. And don't forget, like we reported like back in December, there were videos up of him training with Jade Cargill and Natty Neidhart and the Street Profits in Natty Neidhart's ring.
Hold on.
And then he was in NXT. Go ahead.
Before you take that any further, before people go, well, you can't do that. That's unprofessional. Bayley and a bunch of other WWE wrestlers were taking pictures with Mercedes Moné after she won her TBS and her other championships. So don't say that the WWE doesn't do that shit. They didn't tell them to take it down. The only one they ever told them to take down was, I think, the Drew McIntyre, because of the angle that CM or the real life heat CM Punk had with Pony Boy Express over there, Captain Dumbass, Mr. It's Real Glass, Cry Me a River, that guy.
Captain Dumbass it's a great name. If he came back as a superhero, Captain Dumbass, that'd be fantastic. Where's Jack Perry been? That's why
I have no idea. That's the other part about this whole show, right? They have guys that they're trying to push and make their new stars up and coming, and they just disappear. They just disappear. They're just gone. And you don't have a rhyme or a reason or a storyline as to why they're gone. They're just gone. Jack Perry lost his title and apparently got on a river, and he cried himself to sleep that night, and we ain't seen him since. The Young Bucks won the New Japan tag team titles again. They can wrestle overseas, but they can't wrestle in this company. None of this shit makes any sense. This is why I hate the creative direction of this. And our good friend Mike Digital sent us a message this week, and it was very long and very elaborate. He had a lot of good points, but I want to summarize a couple of them. He said, I went back and I've been watching some of these old pay-per-views on the AEW shows, the original shows. And he said, now, granted, I'm not a huge fan, but when you go back and you watch these, 3/4 of the roster has changed. They have no long-term storyline. They have nothing they can recall back to. The shit they can recall back to is the same thing. The Bucks, Kitty, and Hangman. That's all they got, because they can't keep the people in the company happy. Jericho's got a few connections, but even he's just garbage right now. You don't want to watch that guy. Moxley has get the hell off my TV heat. That's what I mean. They can't get a creative control direction and go, let's go this way and let's ride this out and let's get a good storyline going. Because that shit last night was just the way that ended. We're going to talk about it, but my God.
How about, let's talk about Wardlow. He's the other guy that was in the thumbnail.
We have said
that's a guy.
We have asked about this forever.
He's the second coming of Dave Bautista for that company, and he's just squandered, completely squandered. Powerbomb is a finishing move, completely squandered. And it's another guy who's huge. And if you want to make talent in that company, have him put people over on his way out the door. That's all you have to do. But that's another guy with injury time tacked onto his contract. And I would like to know what Malachi Black did with all that injury time he had on his contract to get out of his contract, to get released by AEW.
Extended. No, he had it extended.
He had it extended, so he just wrote it out to the very end. And this is the point that we're at right now. Yeah. In February is when he's done. So I wouldn't be surprised if he showed up at the Royal Rumble.
You'd probably get a little bit of a pop for that. I'm not going to lie, I'm not a big Malachi Black fan. I wasn't a fan of his in the WWE. I'm not a fan of his I hear he was great at NXT, so that was under Triple H. So maybe now that he's back at the helm, it might work again. I'm just not a big fan of his. I do like, look, we talked about Wardlow, I'm a big fan of. I just don't know why they can't keep this guy going the right direction. They just can't. And it's driving me insane that they can't. And there's one more part of this that we want to talk about before we get into the show that was that wrestling product last night. By the way, thank you all for watching. Please like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button, the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. The super chat is open. If you want to yell at Bottles, because I do, put a buck in. I'll let you do it.
There you go. give us a bing bong with the ding dong. Please subscribe.
There is apparently some things going on with Bobby Lashley and Swerve Strickland behind the scenes that,
yes,
rumor has it, they were supposed to have a second match where Swerve would beat him, and Bobby straight up said, would not. That's not going to happen. I'm new here. You have to get me and Shelton Benjamin over. You've already beaten him a couple of times. I don't know why. We are two of the biggest jack guys you've got here. You should be pushing us to the moon. So apparently Swerve and Bobby Lashley, they will revisit it. I'm sure they will, as you are as well. But somebody had to be the adult in the room and look at Tony Khan and say, you don't beat me right away, you man-child. You don't know how to do this. I've been doing this a long time. We can get there to where he eventually beats me, where it will actually matter. It doesn't matter right now because I'm establishing myself in your shithole of a company, your bad booking. And I got into it with somebody trying to tell me that AEW is great. Chris Jericho's still great. And they're doing a great job with everything.
Oh, that guy. AEW blog. I'll mention his name. AEW blog. A real moron.
These people will not acknowledge when something's bad on this product. You and I, let's say it together, Bottles. Raw and SmackDown, the last 3 shows, have been boring.
Yes, they have. It was a chore to get through SmackDown this past weekend. And Raw, I watched that Raw. I waited a day or two to watch the Raw with. If you watch the Raw on Netflix, like Don said last week,
it's amazing, isn't it?
It's a game changer. It's a 2.5 hour show that if you watch it without commercials on Netflix the next day or the day after, like today, it was an hour and 42 minutes that I could just fast forward through. All the scenes I saw from last week, I fast forward through. The Big Jey Uso 4-hour Yeet Fest when he comes out for his entrance, I fast forwarded through that. It was just the shits that I fast forward through. Even the McIntyre and Seth Rollins match, which I've seen 1,000 times. I fast forward through that to see the ending, where we'll talk about that later, of course. But it's a great tool to scrub through what you've seen before. So I highly recommend delaying watching Raw. Don't watch it live.
And again, we're getting Rhea Ripley and Nia Jax again, which I don't want. I didn't want it the first time, but I don't want it again now. Please,
they got to put a twist on this, Don. They got to put a twist on it. It's got to be something other. They got to. Who's Jax?
Mike, just anything. Just don't.
Good Lord Almighty! It's got to be a twist happening here where they might bring someone else in. I don't know. I hope so. Maybe they'll bring up Zarya from NXT and put her up against Rhea Ripley. 2 Aussies going at it.
Anyway, we're going to talk about Aussies here in a minute too. I just put a friggin' bow on it. Tony Khan, we've said this a million times. Step away from the booking. It's been said 100 times is that any great booker only has about a 3 to 5 year window in that spot before they get burned out and it just becomes repetitive or bad. We're at the spot now where it's repetitive and bad. It's both things at the same time. And last night was a microcosm of this shit being where you did a 180 in the same segment and it was dumber than shit.
I like that word, microcosm.
Well, Bottles, let's talk about it. How many viewers did they have last night on AEW? We are going to start the AEW review portion of the show. Like I said, we appreciate everybody tuning in tonight. Please like and subscribe. What did they do? 655, 645?
I'm scrolling up right now, pal. I'm going to let you know. I just had it, and I scrolled down to see what else it was. 655,000, Don. Down 4% from last week's total of 679,000.
And I do want to give a shout-out to our guy, Awful Wrestling. The demise of AEW. He keeps track of this, and he put it out there, so I don't want to steal his number. He said this now makes 100 weeks in a row that they have not hit 1 million on average.
Right.
Meanwhile, in NXT, they did what, 815,000 people?
812 I saw. It was revised from what they quoted yesterday.
Right.
They quoted 779,000 yesterday, and it went up to 812,000. So, yeah. Ashton Chevalier with another Canadian 5 spot says, nothing says I'm a winner like having a wrestling company name in your Twitter name.
Hey, he's a great follow. If you're not following him, I highly advise it, man. He's got some great stuff. His content's amazing. He's a good guy.
Death of AEW. Yes, the little mini videos he puts up are fantastic. I'm looking at one right now.
I don't know how he gets the AEW to fit in there, then it just says full at the end. It's so cool, man. I am jealous that he can do that. I really am.
Yes, he does the videos on Twitter.
Canadian.
Doesn't have a YouTube channel. He does the videos on Twitter. But on YouTube, he jumps from YouTube channel to YouTube channel. He's ubiquitous that way. But at any rate,
he's a man of many channels.
He's the channel master. Yes, they had a. Keep in mind, I don't know if you saw this. Did you see the 2-minute overrun?
Oh, sorry. Yes. Not awful. The AEW blog guy. There you go. Ashton clarified that. Yes. Thank you, Ashton.
Oh, okay. I thought we were talking about awful. Yes. The blog guy's just too much. It's all AEW all the time. AEW's great, tremendous, fantastic. Did you get the 2-minute overrun of Big Bang Theory?
No. Again, I'm telling you.
You didn't see that again?
None of it.
You got the Max feed. You got the Max sports feed. Yes.
Which is so weird to me.
And I don't have that. We talked about this last week. I don't have that. I've got YouTube TV, which is a great. What do you think of YouTube TV?
I love it. I think it's a great product. I mean, it's $100.
I think it's a great product also. Yep.
They went, well, it's $100 for what all the channels we have, I think, whatever it is. I don't know what the basic package is.
Well, I pay $83 now. It went up. I pay $83 plus tax. You pay $100 because you've got Max Sports on there and all that other stuff on there. NFL Network probably you've got. I don't have any of
Playboy.
that. It's a great Pornhub. It's great for news. It's great for sports because you could have 4 sports channels all on your screen at one time.
I love that.
You could have 4 news channels up at all times, and you just go back and forth. You click on the sound, click on the square, you get the sound from it. You can monitor your sports or your news. I hope they have that available for other channels, but they're getting there.
We plugged your shit, YouTube. Give us some money. All right, so here's where this stands from last night's show. 2,550 tickets were distributed for this show. Not bad. They're in Knoxville. It holds 7,000 people. So almost
big wrestling history. Big wrestling history.
Huge wrestling history. And if you don't know about the wrestling history in Tennessee and Huntsville, Alabama, and that region, man, Ron Fuller used to own that area. They used to make a shitload of money down there. The Tennessee Loop was big. And by the way, the Tennessee Loop didn't include Memphis. A lot of people think Memphis was included. No, this was Nashville. This was Huntsville. This was all that area. Memphis included Ohio and a bunch of areas in Kentucky. This Tennessee area was, I think they still had Arkansas back then. I know that they had Alabama, and I know that they had Georgia as part of their loop and parts of it. But it was huge in Tennessee, man. East Tennessee, it was the shit. It was amazing. Pablo, welcome to the show, pal. I hope you're having a good night. Got to credit AEW is consistently bad weekly. We're going to get into it. And you started off, so I'm going to go ahead and kick it off too. Again, I got 5 minutes of a blue screen. 5 minutes. I don't know why they're doing that. Is it that bad that they can't program it to start when the damn show's supposed to kick off? Like, it's one thing if it's just a 2-minute overrun. I got 5 minutes of blue screen. I got to fast forward.
I'm thinking it's a delay for questionable content.
It's not. It's live. Because I can flip to TBS and it's the same shit when it's live.
But when the blue screen's up, do you flip to TBS?
Yeah.
What's on TBS?
Well, I don't flip there until I get live. When I get live and caught up, that's when I go to TBS, and it's the same thing.
Next time when the blue screen's up, flip to TBS to see what's on there.
Okay, I see what you're saying. But I'd have to actually start. I'd have to watch this Bottles from the beginning, and I would not ever do that because I've got fast forward for a reason, pal.
I hear you. It's a slog going through this show. It really is.
It's a slog. So
I wait till like 9:15 to start watching the show.
I'm about 8:20, 8:30 because I go to bed. Tony Schiavone's in the ring and brings out Ocean Spray, a.k.a. Osprey. If you're new to the channel, we have nicknames. We call him Ocean Spray. Bruv. He's in sweatpants and a T-shirt and a life jacket. Can these guys...
Marty McFly.
Marty McFly life jacket. Can this guy, for once in his life...
Not just him.
Part of a professional...
All of them.
again, this guy is the one that he grinds me to no end. It's always sweatpants or a tracksuit looking like he's a 1987 Jersey guy. He always has this look. Look the part of a professional athlete. I'm not telling you to have a 4-piece, 5-piece suit like Cody Rhodes, but come
or
out
Seth
and
Rollins
look the
deal.
part. Yeah.
Yes.
But come out and look the part. Have some gear on. Have some shit that actually looks like it's stylish. It looks like he bought the goddamn pants at Walmart, the shirt from thrift store on the way, and he went to a hobo dealer and bought the top.
A hobo dealer. Hey, mate, I'm looking for a hobo. Maybe about 5'7" to carry me shoes.
I got your jacket right here, mate. We're from the same city.
Oh, we got a hobo right over here.
And here's the thing. I want to like Osprey. I want to like this guy. I really do. I think if he could slow down, he could be a hell of a wrestler. But he just doesn't look the part. It just drives me crazy, man. And
his mind is racing when he's got the microphone in his hand. He trips up on his words. He's trying to get them all out.
Right.
You could tell he's thinking like 15 minutes ahead of what's supposed to happen. Just let it play out, man. Slow down.
Slow down. Speak your piece. You don't have to scream and just get through it. I mean, my God. And then out comes Kenny Omega. And I said it last week, and I'm going to say it again. His music absolutely sucks. Did you pay attention this week?
No. I could care less about his music. I could care less about Kenny Omega. Danisha said, Donna Bottle's Grand Slam in Australia is so messed up not watching at 2:30 a.m. when it's aired, it's pre-recorded so they can put it on TV at a later time. So it's probably live at 2:30 a.m. our time. And they're going to broadcast it on Max, I guess, pre-recorded for our time.
This one's for you.
It's Ashton Chevalier. I'm a Miami Vice character, bruv. For the $2 spot from Canada.
Thank you. We appreciate it. Okay.
So I'm assuming you're from Canada, Ashton, and not Cambodia or California. But go ahead.
He comes out in blue jeans and a long sleeve t-shirt. I'm guessing they're designer blue jeans. I don't know.
What a star. A superstar.
I don't mind when you come out in blue jeans, but Drew McIntyre comes out in blue jeans and like a jacket. You know what I mean? He looks the part. He looks like a badass tough guy.
Showing the guns off.
Yeah, I'm going to come to the biker bar and kick the shit out of everybody. This dude comes out here, bang, bang, yeah, I'm here. I can't stand any of it. And then we get this promo. Bang, bang,
show me that.
Bang, bang, I'm here. Here's the best part of this. This is where it gets really good. Is we get these two Einsteins of promos having a battle of the wits. And you can see right off the bat, nobody's going to win this shit.
No.
Because Osprey says, I'm glad you're not dead. And again, Kenny Omega makes this pompous douchebag face when he says it. You come back at a bad time, mate. What the shit?
Dude, this is a commercial. This is a commercial for promo class at AEW. This really is. They need to write these promos out for these effing guys so they can memorize it.
Because I wrote this down. I wrote this down. I'm glad you brought that up. Because this is what Osprey said to Kenny Omega. I can't remember the last time we were in the ring and not throwing punches. To which Kenny retorts and loses the plot and says, you don't remember the last time we were in the ring? And then he talks about getting driven on his head. That's not what he said at all. Like, this thing went completely off the rails within 5 minutes.
Because Osprey fed him the wrong line. I guarantee you that's what it was. Osprey fed him the wrong line.
Or Kenny said the wrong line. Kenny
one or
heard
the other.
What he said.
One or the other, dude. It was one or the other. My money's on Osprey. The F up a promo, my money's always on Osprey. And Shivani just slid to the back with his hands up. You did not need Shivani there. You didn't need him there. The show could have started with Marty McFly, Will Ospreay in the ring with a microphone. That's how it should have started. You need Shivani for promos like we're going to talk about later on this show.
You had two Riri's cutting promos in the middle of an AEW ring and national headlines were made.
I don't even know what a Riri is, but I'll go with it, pal. I'll roll with it, pal. Go ahead.
Then Kenny says, I can never trust you. And they're going to come to blows. And what do you do when you see two of your enemies come to blows? You interrupt them and stop them from fighting if you're Don Callis. And I said, what the hell are we doing now? They're about to fight each other. And Don Callis comes out. None of this, but it's already off the rails, Bottles. 8 minutes into the show, it's off the rails. Why would you come out and interrupt the two guys you've been beating up for the last 2 weeks that are about to kick the shit out of each other? Challenger John says, I know what Don means by Riri. John, what did you think of this moment watching this Wednesday night, this opening segment? Did you catch some of this stuff? I'm curious. Very curious. I wonder if Shivani got a taste of Britt. No.
Let me tell you something.
No, sir.
I'm telling you right now. She either gave him a hell of a discount on dental work or there's a little something going on there.
Oh, my God.
I'm telling you right now. Let him roll, baby. Let him roll. Pablo, the real one, says, love it when these guys wrestle and then they run away from each other to make a flippy move. You're exactly right.
We're going to get
Throw fists.
We're going to get there, Pablo.
If you're in a bar fight, are you going to go and do a backflip off the bar on top of a guy? No, you're going to hit him with a chair. You're going to do whatever you can, gouge an eye out, throw punches, kick him in the balls, do whatever you got to do. You're not going to run and bounce off the wall and tackle him or I've seen a drop kick in a bar fight. I've seen that. Son of a bitch. He got a running start, man. Just drop kicked the guy right in the back in a parking lot. It was hilarious.
Buddy of mine was in the Air Force and told me a funny story about a guy got his nickname the Flying Squirrel. Said they were at a bar fight and everybody was getting into the melee and they all start grabbing each other. And he said he looks over and his buddy is running down the bar and just hit the hill. So that's how he got the nickname, the Flying Squirrel.
The Flying Squirrel. I love it. The Flying Squirrel.
It's actually his gamer tag. He's a funny-ass dude, man. One of the funniest people you can meet. Anyway, back to this bullshit. Like I said, Don Callis comes out, and Kenny Omega, who's standing 2 feet from the guy that he can't stand, forgets everything and goes running at Don Callis, who hauls ass and runs out of there. And out comes everybody else, and it's the Don Callis family fighting numb nuts and dipshit for a black
Takashita, Lance Archer,
Chicken
Hawk, of course. Was Brian Cage involved in all this? I can't recall.
Yes, he was. Yes,
Brian Cage with the new look. Brian Cage with his hair grown out and a big beard. Yeah, so he looks like he looks like Steve Blackman with a big shot of horse growth hormone jabbed into his ass. That's what he looks like. Huge. He's just popping.
And this is where I just lost. I said, that's it, man. I don't even understand how they can keep doing this. It's 4-on-2, and they fight all over the backstage area where their souvenir stand is and everything else. And they get Chicken Hawk, they being Ocean Spray and Kenny Omega get Chicken Hawk and a dual suplex where they're both going to give it to him. And I did my taxes while they performed this move because it took forever for them to get this thing on the same page. When they finally got it to go, they continued to fight. They then have a spot where they do dual moonsaults. One of them off of the lower upper deck, and Kenny does it off of the damn lighting structure onto the guys they're fighting. So Kenny Omega and Ocean Spray kick the shit out of 4 guys at the same time. How are they ever going to beat them if they ever have to face them 2-on-2? And then Kenny gets a microphone while he's standing up on this light structure and says all kinds of nonsense, just running into his own words, where he finally gets out, I should have trusted you from the beginning, Ocean Spray. What? He says, I should have trusted you from the beginning. This is like the 7th grade play that I saw the fat kid fall off the stage in. It's just going to shit.
It's like the old saying, Don, the enemy of my enemy is my friend.
Well,
now they're friends again.
Each other with these freaking promos. They suck. Kenny's up there. They're having this awful segment. This thing is horrific.
Right.
They start playing Kenny's music after he's announced they're going to face him in Australia, and he starts talking over his music. And finally says, hold on. I've got something to say. And he says, one more time. And he does the kissing thing. And bang. And good night. Now hit my music, and I'm afraid of heights. Horrific, man. Awful.
It's because there's no structure in that place. There's no scripted promos for these idiots who can't promo. That's what the problem is. And when he says that line, I'm afraid of heights, they should have played the music and that was it. And that would have been the end of the thing, but they can't remember that. So they can't handle it. Osprey's problem with doing that dual power bomb or whatever, suplex or whatever that thing was to put Archer through the table. Osprey probably never did anything like that before. In a tag team match.
I can see them when they got together because he was calling Kenny back over like, so let's get this move. Don't forget this move. You forgot we got to get this spot in. We're already back here fighting in the suit. So they get him in the move. And you can see them going, all right, are you ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. What are we supposed to do it on the count of what, mate? Oh, shit. Okay, go down. That's how bad it was.
Osprey couldn't help it, dude. He saw a squirrel run by, and he went after the squirrel.
I was so glad this was over. This was 21 minutes to open the show with no commercial breaks, not one. This was 21 minutes.
This should have been at the end of the program, I think. Set everybody home happy. They loved it. The live crowd loved it. Regardless of what we think of it, the live crowd did like it.
John liked it. He was there. Challenger John, if you were there, let us know what you thought about this. Did we get something that was out of another bad booking idea? Pac has his segment, and he's yelling bastard every 5 words in this segment. Did you notice this? Everybody forgets about the bastard. Well, you're going to remember tonight, Cope, when the bastard takes you on, when the bastard gets in the ring, and I'm a bastard of a bastard in a basket. I thought I was watching, There Will Be Blood for a minute there. I'm a bastard in a basket.
He's not a bastard at all. It's just ridiculous with this bastard Pac nickname. It's horrific. It really is. He's a good wrestler. He's stuck in this bullshit group with this bastard nickname, which I don't know why they have that. I don't know if that's his choice. I don't know if he's got creative control. Maybe his creative control is I never have to wear clothes again. That could be his creative control. I'm always wearing trunks. I'm always wearing tights.
Still, no pants. He's never in
no
pants. He never has a shirt on.
I'm pantsless Pac. He should be called pantsless Pac.
He really should. He is no longer the bastard Pac. He's pantsless Pac.
Pantsless Pac. Yes.
The bastard. The pantsless bastard.
Pantsless bastard. No, we're trying to get pantsless in it, so he doesn't have to say bastard. But it does have a ring. The pantsless bastard.
Yeah, we're going to go with it. I want to thank you all again for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. Tell your friends about us. Tell them, hey, man, you should watch the little podcast. That good. We're trying to get that sub up over 1,100. We're pushing hard. We appreciate your support.
We're trying.
Hit the notifications button, the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling, because next is my least favorite person on this show.
Who's
Moxley is backstage with half of his Cracker Clan. And this promo was god-awful, as they always are. He's got Wheeler Yuta behind him, literally looking like he wandered in drunk off the street with lice. I could not help but notice that.
He literally now he looks like that guy in his backyard jumping off the platform onto microwaves and cinder blocks. He looks just like that guy now.
He really
with that unkempt ratty beard and the hair falling down in front of his eyes. What's that guy's name? I forgot his name.
I don't care. I'm not giving
He's hilarious, but that's what he looks like. And who do you have with him? Marina Shafir.
And the lice one. The liced wonder. Did you notice the white dots in his hair? It was driving me nuts.
Come on. Are you serious?
I'm dead ass serious.
I try not to look at Wheeler Yuta with any kind of scrutiny whatsoever because he's an unpleasant man to look at. So I try not to look at him.
That lice was hard to look at, pal. And then
lice. Maybe it was dandruff. Dandruff the size of chiclets in his hair.
Dude, it was some big ass dandruff. That shit was jumping off the walls back into his hair trying to escape. It looked awful.
Dandruff the size of Cocoa Puffs. Just laying in his hair.
Fucking coconuts in that thing. Chunks. And then we get him calling. Moxley calls Cope a relic.
He's right. He is right about that. I can agree with. I'll sign off on that. That's the only thing I'll sign off on Jon Moxley saying. Cope is a relic.
Man, next we get the Hurt People coming out to face the PP. And you knew the PP were going down. If there were ever transition champions in a company, they had the making of transition champion from the word go. They're not over. I don't even know their names. I don't want you to tell me their names. I told you last night. You can tell it to me 45 times. I will never remember who the hell's in the PP. I don't care. I don't want to know. They got used like they should be. They are job tag teams with no charisma and nothing I care to watch. Nothing. Good. And by the way, the Hurt People beat the shit out of them from pillar to post.
Absolutely.
Shit out of them.
Like they owed them money. Beat them down. And you know what amazes me is the PP held the belts as consolation prizes for being there from day one and being hurt all the time, and they got the consolation prize for tag team champions, which they held for what, a month? Maybe a month and a half.
Month and a half, maybe two.
And they defended them one time.
They're 1-0 in 2025.
1-0. They defended them once. This is the second time. And their second defense, the other times you saw them wrestle, they had a third man or a fourth man with them. It was an 8-man tag or a 6-man tag.
Ashton's all over this. He's giving us somebody nice, so I'm throwing him up. 84 days, he says.
They had those belts for 84 days?
Well, Christmas came and went, pal. We didn't realize it.
And he
says it was an APA style. It really was. And it
horrible. Horrible. So these guys got beat down. The Hurt Business are the Hurt Syndicate are the new AEW Tag Champs. Consolation prizes for these guys because Lashley wants to be in the championship mix and the head title mix. You know he does. But they're not going to put him there. And they should be, but they're not going to put him there. Because who do you have vying for Moxley's title? You've got Edge wants to go after it. Jeff Jarrett, MJF. Who else? Switchblade Jay White wants the belt back. You got 5 guys right there.
We're going to talk about that later.
Yeah.
Challenger John Beckett says the Hurt Syndicate was over in Tennessee in both shows.
Of course.
This match specifically, everyone chanting, "We Hurt People" and Bobby. And why would they not be? They look like superstars. This is what I mean when I say show up and look like a star. Dress like a superstar. Act like a superstar. Carry yourself like a superstar. And these 3 guys do it all better than anybody else in this company right now, including MJF.
Mm-hmm. Benjamin and Lashley look like 2 parents that went to the schoolyard to beat up the 2 kids that have been picking on their children. That's what they look like. That's what it looked like last night to me.
Junior, which one is it? Hey, Bubba.
Right. Exactly. That's what it looked like.
But again, we talked about this. I am really enjoying Bobby Lashley and Shelton Benjamin in this company. I'm enjoying everything they're doing. The only thing I didn't like was putting Shelton Benjamin in that stupid-ass tournament to have him eat meaningless L's. That was dumb as hell. It was stupid from the word go. I'm glad they're trying to correct the ship because it feels like Bobby Lashley and MVP said, "Hey, look, Tony, look, man, you got to stop the bullshit, pal. We look around this locker room. Darby Allin's not pinning me, dog. That's not going to happen."
I'm telling you right now, give it time. I give it another 30 days when those 3 guys are going to start bitching publicly about the way they're treated in AEW. I'm telling you, that's what's going to happen. No, the Hurt Syndicate. They're going to bitch about.
Right now they're on top. Right now they're on top.
On top of what? Tag team champs? Come on.
Look, dude, I don't care. They got gold.
Come on.
Right?
I know. Look, they're over. They're over like Rover. Like John said, everybody's chanting their name at the shows, the live shows. Everybody's chanting their name. They love them because they're real wrestlers. Wrestling against kids, wrestling against school children, if you will. In 30 days, if their positions don't change in this company, where like he gets the TBS belt from Daniel Garcia, Shelton maybe, or Lashley. They're going to go nuclear in the press and on Twitter and start bitching about the way this company's run. They did it with Vince. They did it with Triple H. MJF came out and said, not MJF, MVP came out and said that, I forgot who else, what other act he said. Well, they said that the Hurt Business, and they mentioned some other guy, kept the WWE afloat in the pandemic era. Did you hear that?
Yes, sort of.
Did you hear what I said, or did you hear that?
Yes, they kept it afloat. I heard you, but
they kept it afloat. That's how much they think of that little 3-man group that they have.
But I got a question for you. I just have a question for you.
Go ahead.
Do you like where this is right now? Because you're getting 50 yards down the field, and we haven't even had the first snap yet. Right now, the ball's in front of you. Are you enjoying what the Hurt people are doing right now or not?
I am. I'm looking to see who they're going to wrestle next, to see who they're going to beat the hell out of.
Okay.
See who they're going to go off on. All they got to do is wrestle somebody who's going to say, man, I don't think we ought to be losing to these guys. I don't think we ought to be. Oh, what'd you say? What'd you say? And then they go outside, they go into the ring, and they get an APA beatdown again.
I think you're going to see a long title reign. That's just me. On to the next segment, because it was.
I didn't say they would have a long title reign. I'm just saying that in a month from now, Lashley's going to win a main event spot. He's going to win it.
He's got one.
The tag teams aren't main event in AEW.
They are in this company. They are in this company.
Come on, man. Go ahead.
You want to know
That's why we'll disagree. Go ahead.
You know what I'm looking forward to? When the Young Bucks go, Tony, it's been a while since we were the champions. It's been 6 months. And Bobby Lashley comes to the room and goes, if you can pin me, you can have it. It's like the Kevin Nash versus Ultimate Warrior segment with Vince McMahon. Have you heard about this story? So This is when Kevin Nash is about to be on his way out the door, right? And Vince McMahon comes up to Kevin Nash. He goes, we're thinking about having the Warrior go over on you tonight. And Kevin Nash says, if he can pin me, he can get it. And fucking Vince goes, maybe we won't do that. and Kevin Nash says, maybe you won't.
Man, that would be a great match to see.
Dude,
that would be a great match to see. Yeah. Like Gorilla Monsoon said, in the words of Mel Phillips, that match would blow your socks off.
Come on, man.
What do you mean?
Mariah May's next in her segment. And she says a deranged woman is going to get a title shot. So that's all she said. That's really all I caught. Is there anything about that segment that stuck out to you?
No, it's just saying Tony Storm's going to get a title shot. Who's nuts is getting a title shot against Mariah May. And then she'll probably get hit in the head and become timeless Tony Storm again.
I got a question for you. Does it feel like they have just completely dropped the ball with Mariah May, or is it just me?
They've completely dropped the ball with Mariah May. They should have somebody who's actually going to challenge. I don't know why. Look, Mercedes Moné has the TBS championship. Why doesn't Mercedes Moné want that belt? Why doesn't she want the women's AEW championship? Why doesn't she want that? Why is she happy with their version of what, the Intercontinental Championship?
I get
the TBS championship.
Why? It's because she can hold it longer, and she knows she can hold it longer. She doesn't have to worry about jobbing to anybody for a good long ass time. That's what it is. She ain't got to worry about it. But anyway,
don't be surprised. Don't be surprised if they have a Statlander or a Harley Cameron type beat Mariah May, so Mercedes Moné could come in the following week and challenge for that belt and take it.
So after that, we get Renee Baguette in the back with Tony Storm. And I'm like, all right, we're going to get this promo now. And the echoes, once again, were just bad. It's echoing all over the place. And
sounds always bad in the back.
It's bad. But out of nowhere comes Holly Cameron. And this was...
Was she talking to Tony Storm, or was she talking to Mercedes Moné?
I don't know. This was when she was talking to Tony Storm. She talks to Mercedes later. This was shit. They started talking about getting shoeies. If you don't know what a shoey is, it's where they take a shot of liquor out of a boot in Australia. Don't ask. I don't know what the hell that's about, but that's what they do. This was god-awful, and I couldn't wait for it to get off my television.
I ain't going to lie. I thought that was something sexual.
It's not. It's called a shoey. Next, we got something that I was excited about because you've got me on the Jeff Jarrett train. You really have. And I said, I am going to get my Jeff Jarrett segment I've been waiting for weeks on. You know what I got?
What was that?
Here comes Karen. Karen Jarrett. The camera whore that she is.
Yes.
Cannot stay off my television. I have no interest in anything this woman does. I do not give a shit. Her claim to fame is she slept with 2 favorite wrestlers. That's her claim to fame.
Okay.
Other than that, I do not give a shit.
What are you doing, Timmy? What are you doing? Block Larry for $2. Ever drink Bailey's from a boot? I would assume that would be pretty awful.
I'm going to go with no, that's never happened, and I don't plan on it anytime soon unless that's my only option at a frat party. And those days
speaking from experience. I would assume he's speaking from experience at Whitey's.
I'm sure he is.
Yes.
Block Larry enjoying the snow, enjoying all of the glorious snow. I'm going to put him out there for a minute. Want to ask something, Larry? Do you have a snow shovel? Oh, I kid because I care. I kid because I care.
You know, down here, I went to a grocery store today, and down here they've got firewood stacked up outside.
No shit.
In Florida, they've got firewood stacked up for people to buy in bundles. In Florida.
That's
good,
wild.
Lord Almighty.
The missus asked if you got any snow. I said no. He's too mean, and his house is like a damn furnace. He's always raging and hot, so it's like a little circle. He can never get snow in that property.
Yeah, we don't have. We're too central to Florida. It was the panhandle.
Here comes
and
Karen.
The upper area. Here comes Karen.
If you've never heard this video, I'm going to send it to you. It's the funniest
I've never heard it.
Ever. All right, anyway,
Karen Jarrett. Karen Jarrett is just a leathery, rubber-lipped,
easy,
Aquanet haired.
Hard on her.
What?
She's just a camera whore. That's all.
I'm sorry. She might see me at the bank and beat me up.
Look,
what do I care?
You already got Missy Beefcake on our ass again. Can we not go back down another leathery comment?
What did you call Missy Beefcake? Bologna what? Olive loaf? What?
Olive loaf.
Her 2 olive loaves?
Tell me what I'm telling lies.
Her 2 leathery olive loaves hanging from her clavicle. Go ahead, Don. What do you got next?
He has his promo. He says he had to come home to remember who he was, and he didn't want to get down to MJF's level. He says he's going to get a hold of MJF. No lights, no camera, an old-fashioned ass whipping in a woodshed. I like that. I thought what Jeff Jarrett said was cool. And then Claudio comes out of nowhere and kicks the shit out of Jeff Jarrett and leaves him laying in the ring. And as he's walking away, Jeff Jarrett gets up and says, hey, if I beat you next week, I get a title shot. So apparently Claudio has the power to give title shots now. What the hell was this at the end? This is what I mean. They take 2 steps forward and then follow the shit behind.
But you know what's great about this? I'll tell you what's great about this. They took TV time to do this angle for the last 2 or 3 weeks. Does Claudio beat Jeff Jarrett, or does Jeff Jarrett beat Claudio?
Jeff Jarrett wins. Jeff Jarrett wins.
With help from MJF, I bet.
No, because...
Oh, I think so. I think it's going to be with help from MJF.
That would be... If that happens, then that would be really creative. I just don't think Tony has a creative juice to get that going. But I like that idea. That's a great
creative
idea,
what?
Bottles.
Creative juice?
Creative juice. What? Easy, killer. Creative juices.
Okay, I got you.
Juices.
I just asked. Is Mark K in the crowd?
Swerve versus AR Spot.
Go ahead.
Stop. Swerve versus AR Fox. I have no idea why. This should be a squash. Why is this so long? Those are my notes on that entire match. Why is this so long, man?
Who knows? It's ridiculous. Matches like this is ridiculous. AR Fox should have got his ass kicked in like 3 minutes.
In 3 minutes.
End of story.
Exactly.
End of story. End of story.
Ricochet
But
gets
this,
involved.
but like we said, you've got jobbers who are in dark matches after the show. Why wouldn't you have a jobber in there? You can argue AR Fox is a jobber, but he does have some sort of love from the ROH crowd, as small as they may be.
You talked about this earlier, so I'm glad John brought this up.
Mm-hmm.
You talked about this to me earlier on the phone. I'm sure you both know, but I believe they substituted Joe and Hook segments with the Swerve match with the Ricochet angle backstage. Does anybody know why that happened? You read that happened. I don't know why that happened.
It was weather. Weather issues prevented one of those two guys from not being there. And since Nick Wayne is from Portland, Oregon, I would wager that was Nick Wayne couldn't make it in. And God forbid you wouldn't want to put Samoa Joe on TV if he lives in Florida or whatever. He's nearby.
That's what I'm saying. Well, yes, Samoa Joe's in Florida, so it might have been him as well. It might have been both those guys couldn't fly in.
Could be. Who knows? But anyway, if you had Joe backstage, I'd rather have Joe wrestle AR Fox and just cream him, beat the hell out of him, or somebody.
Easy, Jesus.
What?
Oh, that guy. Never mind.
Don't start.
Warrior JWR, Don Bottles, have you heard Scott Steiner's son was offered an NIL deal? Yes, we have heard
Brock
that.
Steiner. Brock Rex Steiner. Yes.
What? It's
his
Brock?
name is Rex.
Really? That's his name? Is it?
Brock is his name. His last name is Rex Steiner. That's the family name.
Well, no,
they shortened it for wrestling. Yeah.
No,
Brock
I do
is
like
his name.
that because I know Scott Steiner and the WWE were on the outs for a very long time. Apparently, they kissed and made up. I think that's a great sign. I love when I see these second and third generation guys come in that know how to get it done. If he's anything like his cousin, this is going to be an amazing, absolutely
imagine a tag
amazing.
Team. Imagine that tag team.
I can't. It would actually make me care about WWE tag teams again. So that's a start.
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Thank you, Warrior, for the super chat. We appreciate it. Like and subscribe, hit the notifications button, the ring-a-ling on the ding-a-ling. Ricochet comes out. He gets involved in this match. He swings and misses, and Prince Nana chases him backstage, and then Swerve wins the match, and then they cut backstage, and there's Ricochet with a pair of scissors to Prince Nana's neck saying, I've got my time next week. I'm going to talk on TV in either next week or 2 weeks, I think. No, they got a match in 2 weeks. He's going to talk next week or some shit, right? Like that's what happened.
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't.
It's just garbage. It's just garbage.
We're going to disagree on this. I like the direction ping pong's going. I said it out loud. This is a much better trajectory than where he was.
Whatever you say, Don.
What are you getting over there?
I'm getting a low battery notification for my earbuds.
Oh, okay. Here's where things went really weird for me on this show.
Hang on, Don. Hang on.
We have to now wait, but I'm going to keep talking because Bottles can't hear shit anyway. Look at him. Looking confused. He doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He's got to click buttons. His microphone's talking to him, and he's not talking back. The hat's on crooked. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you now. Yeah, I had to change up.
We get to the New York Minute.
What's the New York Minute?
Chris Jericho. Big Bill?
Yes, I forgot all about that. Low Plains Drifter, Big Bill, the Redwood. Yes.
I like the Big Bill segment. I'm going to say it now. I liked it. This actually was the first New York Minute Jericho segment that I thought that was good. I thought it was decent. I thought they actually had a moment here where Jericho quit being a grab, slap-happy dipshit and took on a serious wrestler tone, and Big Bill followed suit. That's what I liked about this, where he challenged Hobbs. Because for the first time you saw Big Bill can cut a decent promo as the big guy. He's literally almost 7 feet tall. Why are we not utilizing this more?
Bad booking. Why? Let me ask you this. Why is Powerhouse Hobbs, who was challenging for the title last week and fighting in a multi-man match on Collision, why is he wrestling Big Bill?
Why is he paired up against this group? I don't get it either.
Why isn't he going after John Moxley again and those guys? Why isn't he paired up with Jay White and who God only knows who else to take on Moxley and his Death Riders, who are they're pimping out their own pickup truck now? I see.
I saw that bullshit, dude.
Check out what is that? That's Botchamania. Botchamania.
I don't know. It was Botchamania, yes.
Yes.
Then we get the MJF promo, and this did not start off well. I'm just going to say it. I like MJF. I think he's one of the better performers in this company. Whatever's going on with him right now, it's not working for me. It picked up at the end for me. But when it started, he wasn't yelling for once. So thank God somebody said, hey, stop yelling so much. Right?
Right.
Thank God for that. But this, what is he missing right now and what he was as a character versus what he is now? Because I don't get it, man.
I'll tell you. Yeah. I'll tell you right now. He re-signed for an outrageous amount of money.
Shitload of money.
He's going through the motions because he realizes why would he want to get hurt? He's going in the movies now. He's waiting for this Happy Gilmore 2 to come out in June or July. He's waiting for that to hit on Netflix so he can get more movie roles. He's got a bit part in that. He had a bit part in the, what was that story, The Iron Claw? He was in that movie also as a Lance Von Erich, I believe. And he's starting to get movie roles now. He doesn't want to get hurt. So he's working with somebody who's safe, like Jeff Jarrett. If they ever have when they have a match, all he's got to do is come out in a suit and cut promos. Fine. Why not? And get paid what? What do you think he's making? A couple million a year?
I don't know. I'd be willing to bet it's like $5 million. I'd be willing to bet. Really, I would.
Moxley money?
Yeah, he really is. I believe so.
Okay.
Rumor has it that after this whole thing is done with whoever the Moxley match that he has next, rumor has it MJF is next on the booking sheet. So we're going to see how this works out. That's the rumor. Anyway, the best part about this promo, I don't want to drag this out any more than we already have. Adam Page came out, and I was genuinely surprised at how I felt about this possible promo battle with these two guys. Slowly, Adam Page has had to rebuild his entire presentation as a wrestler because they present him as a sad drunk for so long that it's taken him a year and a half to wash that shit off of him. Right. He had to burn a guy's house down. He had to, stab him in the face with a goddamn syringe. He's had to do all kinds of nonsense, but finally he's getting that stink off of him. And when he came out, my initial thought was, I did not have this on my bingo card. This actually got my attention when he came out. Did it get your attention, or did you just think, whatever? It got my attention. I thought it was a good idea.
I think his character is metamorphosing into the Jack Elam of AEW. You remember Jack Elam?
No, I don't.
Remember Cannonball Run?
Oh, yes.
He was the doctor in Cannonball Run.
Oh, shit.
He was in all the cowboy movies back in the 60s. Yes. In the 60s and the 50s.
Crazy ass eye.
He's got one eye going.
He's got the eye down.
He's even got the eye down. Yes, he's got the Google eye down. He looks like a crazed Jack Elam. Dude. Jack Elam on steroids.
My God.
That's what he looks like.
Anyway, Page had a match. He beat the shit out of this guy. It's total trash. Chris Daniels comes out at the end of this, and this is sort of where I started paying attention. I have never cared for Christopher Daniels. Not never. I do not care.
Right.
And he came out and did whatever this was. This was awful, Bottles. Whatever they're doing, please get rid of him. There's a reason he's never made it in this industry. He's got a good mind, I guess, backstage. But when you put him in front of that camera, it's hot trash every time. It makes me want to go away. Get him off my television, man. He
was in talent relations. He was in charge of talent relations, which was just a cesspool of crap backstage. He was terrible at it. When the whole CM Punk thing went down with him and Jack Perry, Christopher Daniels bungled all that. So he was the fallen angel back in Ring of Honor, the early days of that, even when Adam Pearce was in Ring of Honor. So I guess he's Team U Adam Pearce for AEW. He had his retirement match. He had his retirement match on Collision. And now I just saw on Twitter he's going to have another retirement match, which makes no sense whatsoever. Just let it go, dude. Let it go. You're done. Let it go.
I don't care about this guy at all.
No one cares about that. No one cares about it. All of a sudden, he goes from a backstage talent to be an actual competitive wrestler. It makes no sense whatsoever. This is a Tony Khan favor to this guy for being a good lieutenant.
I saw him in TNA, and I remember when they had the announcers on there, like, "Oh, this Christopher Daniels is something else." And I saw him, I was like, "He's a small guy. Why do I give a shit? I don't like this guy." The guy that got my attention in that company was Rude. Rude got my attention. A couple other guys. This guy never got my attention. Never. No. Beer Money got my attention. This guy has never had it. I don't get this guy, man.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, next is the part you were talking about. Mercedes Moné with Renee Baguette and the Australian Tit Show comes out and sings a song.
Playing a guitar.
That guitar.
Look, let me tell you something, and you can say what you want. It was a Moné segment, but it was a Moné segment that I was entertained by because of the off-the-wallness of Harley Cameron. She's the shits in the ring, no matter what anybody says, no matter what the orange-fingered tarp guys who throw the tarp down on the basement floor when she's on TV, and you know what that's for. Those guys, no matter what they say about her,
jacking it in San Diego,
jacking it. On the street corner in San Diego, like Kyle was in South Park. But anyway.
No, like Wheeler Yuta is on every show right now with lice. Coconut-sized lice jumping on the wall.
I don't like what I'm hearing, Don. I don't like what I'm hearing from you whatsoever.
I don't like lice on my TV show.
Giving this segment one slider and a Jergens.
I'm going to agree with you on this. I thought this was, I don't know what this was as far as wrestling, but it
entertained
gave me an entertaining moment. Exactly.
Yes, I was sports entertained.
I don't know what the hell she's supposed to be, but this was the best she's looked on the show. She sang a pretty funny song. Mercedes didn't come off as cringy as shit for once. She came off as the biatch she's always trying to be. I enjoyed this segment, and I said, whatever Harley's doing, more of that, less in the ring. There's a spot for her in this company.
Yes,
it just doesn't have to be in the ring is all.
Is she challenging Moné for she was going on the Moné train, on the money train?
That's sort of where we're going.
Is she challenging for the TBS title, or she want to be paired up with Mercedes?
No,
Moné?
she was challenging.
You're sure that's where this is going to go? Because this is AEW. This could go off the rails. Where the big boys play. Where the big boys play. If a big boy is 5'7", yes.
I enjoyed this. I'm just gonna leave it there. Julia Hart and Jamie Hayter have another match. I guess they're gonna. I'm guessing that their third rubber match is gonna happen in Australia, right? That's sort of how this feels, right?
Buddy,
look,
Julia Hart is.
I gotta ask you something.
Go ahead.
Why does Julia Hart sing her own theme song every time she walks to the ring?
Because she's the one who actually sings the theme song.
Yeah.
That's her voice. That's her actual voice.
It's ass.
I'm just saying. That's her actual theme song. So that's what we got. But Julia Hart is married to a wrestler who works for that company that you never see anymore. I think maybe he might be on Ring of Honor sporadically, but no one watches Ring of Honor. So Julia Hart's been hurt multiple times. She had shoulder surgery on her separated shoulder.
She had soldier surgery. All the dudes was hurt.
That's right. The whole platoon. So Julia Hart
they blew up. Oh, they got blown.
Julia Hart jacked up her shoulder and she got it operated on. So anyway, she finally came back.
Was she in San Diego?
For what reason? Jacking it? No, she wasn't jacking it in San Diego. But my whole point is she shouldn't be in the ring with somebody like Jamie Hayter, who was suplexing her and throwing her down backwards. And that girl kept landing on her shoulders instead of taking a flat back bump like you should when something like that happens. I'm not a wrestler, but I watch guys who have more experience than what she has take those suplexes and they don't land on their shoulders.
Right.
They're not rolling their shoulders. They're landing as flat back as they possibly can.
Flat as they can, yes.
So you're not blowing your goddamn shoulder joint out. Your whatever was that, ACV joint in your shoulders like she did. Like Liv Morgan did. Like Rhea Ripley
Or your labrum.
Or your labrum, yes.
I do have one thing.
And don't go into labrum. But anyway, Julia Hart was hurt on the last one. You can see she was holding herself. She wasn't selling. She's not that good at selling. She's not that good of an actress.
Jamie Hayter won.
Yes.
The thing that I took away from this match was Aubrey Edwards has been all over this show. And at this point I said, I got to take notes because she is literally neighing and trotting all over the ring. She is all over this shit. Over here.
Dude.
I'm over here. What are you doing? Are you giving up? Oh my God. What the fuck? Hold on, do it again.
Don't you know what that is now? That is sign language for the hearing impaired during the show.
I don't.
She's refereeing and doing sign language.
I don't want to see her again, man. I don't want to see
her. She's a fixture there. She's one of the AEW ass kissers of Tony Khan. So she's got a job there for life. Okay. But at any rate, she was at a full gallop last night going around that ring. A full gallop.
Oh,
it was horrendous. And this is
Leonard
when you
gave us somebody tonight.
With the Johnny Bravo impersonation. There you go. She this whole thing, when Jamie Hayter tried to cut a promo after this match, and she was so out of breath. This is why you need Tony Schiavone to be in the ring for something like this, and not to open a show where he just basically introduces a guy and hands him the microphone. This is where you would have Schiavone.
Yeah.
Calling out, interviewing Jamie Hayter about the match, blah, 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 and holding it for Hayter and guiding it along like Mean Gene or whoever used to do. Even the women in WWE guide the interview along. They will not hand somebody just the microphone and say, here you go.
No, they will not.
They will not do that.
Guide you through this. This is my segment. I've got to keep you online. Here's the talking points.
Right.
They just I got to go now. Have fun with this shit. Tony Schiavone, I got to go.
Schiavone is just the worst, dude. He's just the worst.
We're not getting into that. We're not rehashing. We're not.
Go ahead, Di. Let's keep it moving. It's
Bob
8:20.
Says he's going to
be 8:21, and I'm fed up and tired with this shit show.
Bob says he'll be waiting
show.
on. Okay, all right.
That our
Bob
show.
says he's going to be waiting on Big Bill next week. He can't wait to fight him, or if it's Saturday, I don't give a shit. Either way, I did notice something about Mr. Hobbs. He's got to have the biggest goddamn teeth I've ever seen in my life. That dude has got chiclets in that skull. The teeth are huge, dude, and there's huge gaps. I'm not trying to rip on the guy, but bro, you've got a little bit of money now. Like, get those Invisalign things. Like, close that shit up, pal.
He could floss his teeth with a bicycle chain. That's how bad it is.
He's huge, though, and that's a thing.
Huge teeth.
He's a huge man with huge teeth and a huge face. Like, fix that shit, son.
I'll tell you what, when they have the next taping, you can go down there and tell them that.
I will. And I'll be like, hey, I'll pay for your denture things if you don't punch me.
You got a dentist working for the company. Why don't you go see her? Good God.
I heard you dipped your stick anyway.
He's got a mouthful of wayward chiclets. They're just all over the place, dude.
Anyway, thank you all for watching tonight. Please like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. We're going to close us out of here real quick. Swerve is mad, and he says in 2 weeks he's going to see Ping Pong, and then we get the weirdest House of Black segment we've ever gotten on this show. How obvious is it by now that Malachi is leaving? It's never been more obvious, right?
Of course. They even, Jamie Hayter even mentioned it. You come out here, she's talking to Joey Hart, you come out here with these 2 big guys with you. There used to be 3 big guys. Now there's only 2. So I said to myself, when she cut that promo, I'm thinking, yeah, Malachi's gone. Did you notice in Raw, when Chad Gable went to talk to Dominic Mysterio about how to handle luchadors, he said, go ahead and see this guy. Talk to these people. It was the Dark Arts Wrestling Academy.
I did not.
Dark Arts Wrestling Academy is the school that Zelina Vega and her husband, Aleister Black, run.
Aleister Black.
So he's coming back as Aleister Black to the WWE.
I don't give a shit.
The golden tones of Don Wayne, everybody.
I don't care about Aleister Black or Malachi Black or Julia Hart. It sucks.
New from K-Tel, the greatest hits of Don Wayne.
There we go.
With such songs as You Got the Look, you got to break it out.
I should break out the Vince Wants to Rock song, but that's rated R, and I can't say it on this show.
No, you can't. We got to keep.
For all of you listening, I had a Jim Cornette hit about 3 years ago. It had to do with Vince McMahon and his penis. It was a pretty good song if you get a chance to look it up. Anyway, we're going to close this show out the way they closed out this show on AEW. Cope comes out to fight the bastard. I do not give a shit. You know how this is going to end. And then they cut to a scene in the back.
Hang on a second. About the actual match. How sad did Copeland look?
It's sad.
It is sad. That man can hardly move anymore. He'll do a move and he's done on the canvas until he can get his breath back or whatever to get the strength to get back up and do another move. It's so sad to see this guy in the ring. He's 51, almost 52 years old. He's going into Jericho territory. Jericho's 54, I believe. It's time, dude. Jeff Jarrett at 57 looks 1,000 times better than Jericho and Copeland. Just wrap your head around that. Jarrett can cut a better promo than Jericho or Copeland. Copeland's terrible at promos, but
he's never been great. Like
he's
when
never
he was
been
a rated R guy, it was okay. Like I just
right.
Look, man, this match was about what I thought it was going to be, and here's where it gets really bad. They show
Really
the
bad.
Rock and Roll Express for like the third week in a row backstage getting the shit kicked out of them. They were never on the show. They just show them getting their ass kicked and laid out again.
They were on Collision a couple of weeks ago, and they got taped to a wall or something, taped to a fence, an anger fence, and they got beat up or something like that. I don't know what was going on. I never watched it. I don't watch Collision at all, but I just saw clips of it on Twitter.
No one watches Collision.
No one cares.
No one watches.
No, and no one cares about the Rock and Roll Express. It's
Why would
2025.
It's not 1995, and even then they were irrelevant.
Yeah. They haven't been relevant since
the Rockers. They haven't been relevant since the Rockers. The Rockers replaced the Rock and Roll Express, and I'll go to my grave.
81?
Like, no, it was like 90.
90? Okay.
Yeah, it was like somewhere around there. Like they had a good 8-year run, maybe a decade, and then the new guys came along. You can't call yourself the Rockers when you're 30, 32 years old. Now you're just the band now.
What about the Young Bucks?
Dear God.
Can you call yourself the Young Bucks when you're approaching 40, like these guys are in this company? How about the old Bucks, the middle-aged Bucks? That's a good name for them, the middle-aged Bucks.
Anyway, they show them backstage. The Cracker Clan comes out. They beat the shit out of Edge, Cope, whatever the hell you want to call him. You knew it was going to come down to this. And then Jay White decides, I'm going to enter the fray. Jay White decides it's time for me. Brother Fluff, how you doing, brother? Cope and Jarrett are like the two old guys at a club they're trying to pick up 20 years old.
But I think Jarrett's got some game. Jarrett looks a lot better than Copeland does.
No, he does not. No,
Come
not
on,
body-wise. Not body-wise.
What are you talking about? Jarrett doesn't look as better than Copeland body-wise? Think about it. Jarrett is jacked, dude.
Look, here's my thing with Jarrett. Someone tell him how to fix his mustache, because that thing is out of control. It's cut too short. It looks like he was trying to be the bad guy in a Rocky and Bullwinkle cartoon. It's horrible. What do you want to do, Rocky? I don't know, but here comes Jeff Jarrett. We got to kick his ass.
This is the second or third flying squirrel reference we had this show today.
We got some flying squirrels. Brother Fluff, I want to thank you, man. I hope your family's doing well, brother. We appreciate the super chat. Please like and subscribe. This thing ended like I thought. Jay White comes down. He now throws himself back in the title picture and gets the shit kicked out of him. And see.
I wonder what Jay White's making a year to put up with this kind of booking and how long that contract is. He's been there how long? If anybody in the chat can tell me how long he's been there. 2 years? He's got to be making some decent coin. He's probably like bitching about the booking and complaining to his wife or his girlfriend. And then when that deposit hits the account every week, he's, well, maybe I can put up with this a little bit longer.
Warrior with the win. Warrior with the win.
2022 is when he signed. Okay.
Gotcha.
Yeah, okay. So
that
he
concludes
could be out of there this year, Don. He could be out of there this year.
Not a chance. There's not a chance. There's no way.
What do you think? Jay White will not be out of AEW this year?
Not a chance.
Why you say that?
I just feel like this is the place where he feels like he can be the big fish in the pond. And he's right. He could be the big fish in the pond. He goes WWE, man. Look, dude, he could be the next Chad Gable. Like Chad Gable, I feel like is being wasted. I feel like Jay White's actually got some charisma. I just don't want to see him do the bang, bang. I don't want to see that shit anymore. Never do that again.
Well, he's not a little guy. He's not a short guy like Chad Gable.
I think you'd be surprised if you stand them next to each other.
I don't know. I've seen him wrestle some big guys.
I think you'd be surprised.
I've seen him wrestle some big guys.
Okay.
Where's the rest of the Bang Bang gang at? They must be hurt.
I have no idea. Like, this is sort of where we're at. They can't all be hurt, right? Like, why are they all gone? I know the one guy broke his ankle. The disheveled looking dude.
The other Billy Gunn. The other Gun kid.
Yes. No, not the other Gun kid. The one that actually, the other guy from Australia, whatever the hell he's from.
Oh, Juice Robinson.
Yeah, he broke his goddamn ankle. Like,
that's the second time. That's the second time he's broken his leg. Yeah.
Might
probably
be time
came back
to make
too
another
quick.
career, pal.
He probably came back too quick.
Juice Robinson is here. I'm a bang, 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 bang.
He could have been spinning Tony around at home and broke his ankle. He is married to Tony Storm.
Right round, baby, right round.
Don Wayne's greatest hits, everybody, from KTEL. KTEL Records.
I want to thank everybody for watching tonight. Please hit the like, subscribe button. Big shout out to all you guys that have been coming here and gals. We appreciate it. We're really appreciative of your efforts. Bottles.
Don, it's 8:30. I'm fed up and tired. I've had enough.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.